everybody. I am John Clark. Welcome to the Takeoff podcast, and we're talking about the Eagles draft. We saw unanimously most draft experts give the Birds an A or an A-, A+ for their draft, grades I never saw in high school or any other era of my life. But straight A's for the Eagles in this draft. They got 7 players. They traded for the Philly kid from St. Joe's Prep, DeAndre Swift, and they signed a whole bunch of undrafted free agents. So we've got an interview here, a conversation with Howie Roseman, the man who made the decisions for the Eagles. We've got Ross Tucker talking about the draft, what he thinks of it, and Jalen Carter, the Eagles pick that they got at 9. A lot of people think he's the most dominating player in the draft. So here are these conversations. And may I remind you, these aired on NBC 10's Eagles Blueprint Special. We will have the Eagles preseason games on NBC 10, and that is almost like 3.5 months away. So we're getting close. We can start to feel it. Enjoy these draft conversations. All right, Howie Roseman joining us now. And first, take me back when you went down to Georgia and you got a look at Jordan Davis. Did you guys set your sights on Jalen Carter at that time? And could you imagine actually getting him, having the 10th pick originally?
Yeah, I'll be honest. When we went down to Georgia, I wasn't really anticipating us having a pick that high to get Jalen Carter, because we knew what kind of player he was, and feel really fortunate that we were able to come out of that draft last year with Jordan and Nakobe, and those guys, I think, are going to be good players for us for a long time. And I think our scouts did a tremendous job of all these guys that we went through here the last couple of nights. And I think we had a really good process. And obviously, for us, the results will speak for themselves as we go forward here.
So obviously, a lot of people are saying he may be the most dominating player in the draft, talking about Jalen Carter. How do you get past when somebody has an off-the-field incident and maybe a little bit of question about work ethic or practice habits and things like that?
Yeah, we got to do our research, and that starts with our scouts. That starts with Dom. You know, we've talked a lot about Dom and the role that he has here because it's a big role, and we have a lot of trust in the research he does on guys, the research our scouts do on guys, and we also understand that we have to develop the people as much as the players. And so for us, these guys are 22 years old. I mean, you and I know 22. It's different.
Let us know what you were doing.
It's different, you know, and I think we got to take that into account and know they're not fully developed. And we have a lot of trust in the people in this building to develop players on the field and off the field. And so that's our responsibility when they come here to develop them. And that process will start next week when they come.
To get Jalen Carter and Nolan Smith in the first round, could you have imagined coming out of the first round with those two players?
Yeah, really excited about those two guys. I think they fit our philosophy. You know, obviously the O-line and D-line are a huge part of what we do and who we are. And so to start off the draft with that, you know, I think a lot of times the first round sets the tone for the draft. And when you get guys that everyone in the building's really excited about, sometimes it kind of propels momentum, day 2, day 3, and just again, you know, all we could look at is our process right now because nobody's played a snap, you know, nobody's done anything in the National Football League yet, but we can look at our process and the people around that, and I'm proud of both those things.
You have a culture here, and then when you see the Alabama guys that came in, Devontae Smith, when he wins the NFC title game, he says, job's not done. Right. Jalen Hurts and those guys say, we get it from Alabama. Georgia, same thing. How much are you buying into having players coming from programs like that and the culture they bring?
Yeah, sure. And we have our own culture, you know, and I'm proud of the culture that we have and the work ethic that we have in this building. And I think that starts up top. That starts with our owner. And it filters down. And our job is to make sure that we're doing everything possible to make this city proud. And we do that with our work ethic. We do that with our attention to detail. We do that with our commitment to do the right things on and off the field. And that transcends, you know, not just playing. That transcends all of us in the building. And so that's where it starts. And then after that, obviously, you need talent. You know, unfortunately, I can't play. Maybe you think you can play in the National Football? I
no
can't.
Shot.
Well, so
Kicker,
you need
something.
talent. You need talent.
Yeah.
Can you kick? Can you kick?
A little bit.
Yeah. So I think that's an important part too. And when you get those things going, you're rolling. And we have a lot of people in this building on this team who are talented guys who have tremendous work ethic and want to help lead these young guys, who want to show them our way of doing things. And that to me is what legacy is about. And when you have players who've been here for a long time and care as much about what's on the front of their jersey as what's on the back, I think that's important.
Two final questions for you. DeAndre Swift, to bring him back home, you have to have the flexibility. Did you also sense in the running back market there could be an opportunity like this that comes up?
Yeah, I think really the first thing we look at is we liked our running back room. That wasn't a position that we were actively looking to upgrade. We're looking to always upgrade the roster, but we like the running backs that we have on the team. I think this was a unique situation. Obviously, the player first. You watch the tape. We saw it week 1. I mean, he's explosive through the hole. He's a big play, whether in the pass game or the run game. He's got vision. He's got acceleration. And then what's cool is he's a St. Joe's prep guy. This is a Philly kid who we followed in high school. He was in the facility when he was a high schooler. When we called him today to just, welcome to Philly, it was almost like welcoming another draft pick, just the emotion that he had to come back home. And, a kid like that is going to give us everything he's got and do whatever he can for this team to help us reach our goals, and just excited about that opportunity.
You were a Super Bowl team last season. Very few teams get a 10th pick. You set the team up with that. You lost a bunch of players in free agency, though. Do you think with this draft you've been able to replenish a lot of that you lost?
Well, we'll see. That was a special team that we had last year, and I don't want to get into the comparison game when we haven't gotten onto the field yet. We got a lot of work to do. We got a lot of time to do it, and I think we got to come together as a football team before we put any expectations on what we're going to do. And this is the hard part now. This is where the work starts. And, anything that looks good on paper has to look good when you start applying it. And I'm excited about the opportunity that we have. I wish the season was starting next week because I'm excited about the people that we have here. But we know we got a lot of work to do. And we look forward to the Howie Roseman, Nick Sirianni podcast coming out someday. You guys are getting pretty good experience. I appreciate that, John. I did one podcast, and I may be retired from podcasts for a little bit. Podcast and a shot, right? Yeah, Thanks a lot. Appreciate your time. Thank you. All right, congratulations to Jalen Carter. Your dreams have come true. Take us back to that moment when you hear your name called and the reaction your family had.
Yeah, it was crazy. Actually, I didn't hear my name called. My family was yelling so loud, but it was an awesome moment. I'm so happy that I see the smiles on their faces and the journey that we took to get here.
We saw the tears in your eyes. Tell us about the emotion that overcame you.
Yeah, I was trying to hold them back, and then I started seeing everybody else tear up, and that's when they just started pouring out, and it happened.
So you're going to be teammates with Jordan Davis, your teammate at Georgia. How special is that?
It's very special. Me and Jordan Davis had a close connection, very close connection, and now that we could team up in the NFL, it's very good.
What does he mean to you, and what did he do for you?
He's a brother, and he taught me the game. In college, he taught me the ways where I need to change my stance or add to my pass rush moves or anything like that, and I feel like he could teach me a little something in the league.
You also told me he taught you how to be a man. Was it tough love with you? What was he saying to you?
No, he just kept it real with me. If he felt like I didn't do or see me not moving fast or doing certain things that that I should be doing because they felt like I could be the best that I could be, he'll let me know. And that I felt that was keeping it real, and that was being a man about it. With me.
Yeah. Remember your head coach Kirby talked about you getting hurt last year, and you came back. Some other guys may not have. Why did you need to come back?
One is because I wanted to go back to back, and one was from another one was from our team. I had a close connection with everybody on the team. I told them as soon as I got hurt, I told them, I'm coming back. I'm come back fast as I can. We go win another one, go back to back.
So have you been winning your whole entire life at every single level?
Oh yeah, yeah.
Going to get that done in the NFL?
Yes, sir. That's the plan.
How about Philadelphia? When you visited the city, you visited the team, what kind of vibe did you get from the team and the surroundings?
It was a good vibe. I felt good when I got there, and I felt good when I left. That's why I felt strong that, Philly would be one of the teams I go to.
Now, you told me that if you were there at 10, the Eagles would take you. How did you know?
I don't know. I think it was just a visit. Talking to everybody, D-line coach, defense coordinator, GM and everybody, the head coach. I think you just get that feeling, and I feel like Philly was a good place to be.
What does it mean to you that they traded up a spot to go get you?
It means a lot. It means that they really trust me, and then they're ready for me to come in and work.
So when you look at you and Jordan Davis lining up together, can you play all the positions? Like, what is your role going to be with Jordan Davis, and how dominant can this defensive line be?
Yeah, I can play all the positions, and wherever they want me at, I'm gonna just do whatever they say. They know what's the best in me, and whatever they tell me to do, I'm gonna do it.
Are you the best player in this draft?
Yes, sir.
How long have you believed that?
Since my freshman year, I felt like, as soon as I get right and learn everything, and then, in my sophomore year when everybody was talking about me a little bit, my name started buzzing, I was like, I could be the best, and I am gonna be the best.
So you got into some off-the-field issues with the incident. Your mom has been there for you the whole time. What does your mom mean to you?
My mom means a lot. I've been with her my whole life growing up, thick and thin, and it get rough, but she found a way. And now I'm here, and I found a way for her, and now we about to be straight.
What did Howie Roseman and Nick Sirianni and the Eagles say to you when they made that call to you?
Man, it was so loud. My family was yelling. The phone, the service was messing up. All I heard was, "Are you ready to become an Eagle?" And I said, "Yes, sir."
All right. Well, you got some former teammates on the Eagles, so I got a surprise for you.
Yeah.
So you were Georgia teammates with these guys, and these guys are welcoming you to Philly. How important was it? There he is.
What's up, boy? Yeah.
Hey, congrats, brother. Let's go. Welcome to the Bird game, man.
Yes,
Go
sir.
Bird.
Yes, sir. When I get on my phone, I'm going to hit you up, bro. I can't wait to talk to you.
Yeah.
Yes, sir.
Yeah, hit me up, man.
Yes, sir. Love you, man.
Congrats. Enjoy your night.
Yes, sir.
Love you, boy.
What did Nakobe Dean mean to you with the Georgia team?
He mean a lot. He was a leader. He kept it real with everybody. He told him, you got a job, play a role, we go win. And that's what happened.
So what do you expect out of Nakobe Dean getting his shot now? You're going to have you and Jordan Davis clogging up the middle, getting after it, and Nakobe Dean in the middle at the linebacker position.
Yeah, I know he's still the same, man. He's for to be leading. He's for to lead us to another Super Bowl. We're going to get there. We're going to win it this time.
How about what you guys bring from Georgia with the mentality of winning championships? You got all the Alabama guys on the Eagles offense, and now you got 3 Georgia guys on the Eagles defense.
Hey, practice going to be here for them.
Those are going to be some battles with the Alabama guys on offense?
Yeah. Yeah, we're going to bring some competition, some work out there.
All right. Well, thank you very much, Nakobe Dean, for FaceTiming with him.
That's it.
Hey.
All right, my boy.
How special is that? What kind of comfort does that give you coming to the NFL that you got your former Georgia teammates there with you?
It gives me a lot of comfort. I look up to these guys. These guys, when I came in, I didn't have a big head or nothing. I came in and I looked up to these guys and I taught these guys, I'm following you. I'm right behind you, and now that I can see him in the league, it just means a lot.
All right, you want to tell Philly something as you become an Eagle tonight?
I'm coming to work, and we're going to go back to the Super Bowl. We're going to win it. Yes, sir.
He knows about winning championships, so I'll take it from you. Thank you very much. Congrats to you. All right, let's welcome in Eagles preseason analyst Ross Tucker. And first, let's start with the trade getting DeAndre Swift. Now, he's in the last year of his deal, but do you think that he is actually an upgrade in a way over Miles with the way he's able to catch the ball?
You know what, John? That's a really interesting point. I mean, they kind of remind me of each other in terms of how explosive they are, but you look at some of the plays DeAndre Swift made last year, and especially to your point, what he does in the passing game, he's certainly an upgrade when you consider he's about $5 million less than what Miles Sanders is making right now, and he's probably the best player that changed teams on day 3 of the NFL draft. I mean, all the other guys are 4th through 7th round picks. DeAndre Swift is a known commodity.
All right, how about this Eagles team was in the Super Bowl, and they get a guy that people are saying is arguably the most dominant player in the draft in Jalen Carter. Are you comfortable with the off-the-field issues and maybe the work ethic issues, comfortable taking what could be a little bit of a risk?
Well, what does Jeffrey Lurie always say? You're not going to be playing it safe. They're not going to just hit it right down the middle. You don't win Super Bowls that way, right? You have to be aggressive at times, and I think it's less risk for the Eagles than other teams. They're a really good team. He has a guy that he reminds me a lot of in Fletcher Cox that can basically be his mentor. And he's got all these teammates here now. I mean, now he's got 4 teammates from the last 2 Georgia teams that can keep him doing the right things. And I think that's one of the reasons why the Eagles felt so comfortable with it. To get a guy that's a top 1, 2, or 3 player in this draft at 9 is just ridiculous.
I remember talking to Devontae Smith after winning the NFC title game, and he said, job's not done. And he says he got that from Alabama. Do you think there really is something to bringing in all these guys from Alabama and Georgia, championship programs, and what they bring as far as culture and what they're learning from their coaches?
I think it's a great point, John, that I hadn't really thought about, but these guys know what it's like to be all the hype and have everything surrounding, and they have stayed focused. Devontae won a national championship. Georgia's won it the last couple of years. They didn't go for the rat poison, right, as Nick Saban would say, right? They know the process is the process. It's one of the reasons why they've had so much success.
How about Nolan Smith? To get him at 30, Are you surprised they were able to get him at 30?
Very. I mean, you looked at all the mock drafts. He was either going 8 to Atlanta or 10 to Philadelphia. I know a lot of people would have been happy if the Eagles got him at 10. I think maybe, John, he wasn't the perfect scheme fit for some teams. He's 238 pounds, so I think some teams wouldn't want an edge guy that's less than 240 pounds. But the Eagles have the template. It's Hassan Reddick. I mean, he can, I said that Jalen Carter can follow around Fletcher Cox. Well, Nolan Smith can follow around Hassan Reddick and just do what he does. And like Hassan Reddick, they might be undersized guys. He is not afraid to play the run. I mean, wait till you see the preseason games. Wait till you watch his video. He is violent and aggressive. He wins against the run with his quickness.
How about out of this draft class, who do you think is most likely to be able to be in the week 1 lineup starting?
Ooh, that's a good question. I think I might go Sidney Brown. From Illinois, 50-some starts at safety. And you look at, they've got Reed Blankenship, they've got Terrell Edmonds, so it's not going to be easy for him, but he's got as good a chance as anyone to actually earn a starting position. That said, Carter should be in the D-tackle rotation, Smith in the edge rusher rotation, and even Tyler Steen is a guy that I think has a chance to compete for the starting right guard spot now that Isaac Seumalo's gone.
We saw this team in the Super Bowl. They got a pick at 10. They moved up to 9. But this haul that they got coming off a Super Bowl, they did lose a bunch of free agents. Do you think that they've replenished to remain a Super Bowl contender?
Well, they're definitely still a Super Bowl contender. I don't know if they're quite as good as they were last year, but they've definitely replenished. What's kind of amazing is to be a team that was in the Super Bowl like that and to have 5 guys that we really feel like are going to contribute this year with the first and second round picks and DeAndre Swift. Heck of a weekend for the Birds.
You got it. Good to see you again.
Always, man.
And then we're looking forward to the summer and the preseason.
It'll
games.
be August before you know it, John.
All right, great work.
Thanks, man.
Thanks a lot.